Uh, information. So, keto coaches. Not only keto coaches, keto advisors, keto instructors, keto coaches, keto doctors, doctors in general. Guys, one of the biggest pet peeves. I was just watching another coach's video. I don't drop names, and I'm not going to talk bad about people. What I can tell you is a lot of people are full of crap. They're just straight up full of crap. They make up a lot of stuff because people have been following them for a long time. They build up their channel to a really high subscriber rating, and they're like, oh, look at all these people that I coach. Look at all these people that are subscribed to me. See my relevance? See what I've done? Vegan Gains gained 330,000 people on his channel by attacking people. That's how he started. That's how he grew. But that doesn't mean that there's any kind of relevance or there's any kind of importance behind the content that he puts out. It means nothing. If you cannot understand what you're coaching, but yet you're just trying to make up stuff as you go and you're just repeating stuff that you've heard from other people, how do you really expect to help people? Yeah, there's going to be a percentage of people that get help because you're teaching somebody a cleaner way to do something, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're teaching them the best way to do it. It doesn't mean that you can't do better or admit that you could possibly be wrong. I was just watching another coach on another channel that actually gets paid with a website, probably sponsored by people and stuff like that, and they were saying, oh yeah, if you eat this meal, make sure that you add more fat to it. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, why would you be adding fat to a fatty portion of meat that's already fat? Why would you try to take this and make it something that it's not? And I'm thinking, don't you have fat on your body? If you're getting a substantial amount of fat from your food, the natural source of where it came from, why are you having to add stuff to it? It makes no freaking sense. And I'm thinking, wow. And as I'm going on and I'm listening to this person talk, they're talking about, oh, if you get too much protein, it turns to sugar, that process, gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis is a demand-driven process. You don't just eat too much protein and it turned to chocolate cake in your blood, and then all of a sudden you've got too much sugar going on. Some people are hypersensitive to protein, lean proteins especially. But that does not mean that if you eat too much protein, it's going to spike your glucose that much. Guys, I sat in front of the camera not too long ago, and I consumed in front of you guys in 20 minutes 2.5 pounds of meat. Guess what happened? Nothing. My blood glucose went from 84 up to about 96 or something like that. No, 88 to about 100. And then within 2 hours, it was back down to 84. It was lower than when I started. You have a response to anything that you do. You can think about something pleasurable, and your body starts to release dopamine, which creates an enzymatic response in your stomach, which that process alone can spike insulin, which if you're eating something or what, you're going to have some kind of blood sugar increase. That's not going to go away. What I don't get is why we're still holding on to these scientific methods and studies and explanations that are 60 years old. That we're talking back in the Ansel Keys days and stuff, and over time we keep saying, you eat too much protein, it's going to turn to chocolate milkshake in your blood. No, it's not. It's a demand-driven process. If your glucose drops too low, your body naturally takes the glycerol backbone from fat or protein, and it converts just enough glucose to keep it at its homeostatic level, keeps your organs replenished with the glucose that they need because they have to have glucose, and that's it. It's a very organized mechanism that happens inside the body. It doesn't just turn to chocolate cake or chocolate shakes. And where people are getting this information from boggles my mind. I used to think the same way until I actually started testing out and seeing what's going on with people that I worked with. And there was almost no glucose response to a good quality fatty source of protein. And even lean proteins, it was very, very minimal. But we still have people that have been coaching for years. They've got tons of people that they coach. Yes, they do get some results with what they do, but just this whole false basis of information that we're still repeating. It's like If I change what I'm saying now, it shows that I'm irrelevant, and that means all the information that I put out before it's no good, and people aren't going to follow me anymore. People are going to think I'm lying to them. That's not what this is. It's okay to say I was wrong before. It's okay to say I didn't have this correct. But we're still telling people, oh, if you eat too much protein, it's going to spike your insulin. It's going to do all this other stuff. Lean protein will spike your insulin. But that doesn't mean you're going to have a glucose response to the insulin spike or what you're eating. This whole theory on eating too much protein gets turned to sugar is it's garbage. And if you have somebody, or you're following somebody that says, you know, I'm only gonna have 40 grams of protein today because I'm worried that my too much protein is gonna turn to sugar. That's what this person from this group said. I suggest that you probably stop following that person, because that's bad information. It's very bad advice, and it does not work that way. So I can't get over this whole theory and method behind we need to add fat to everything. We need to add 1 second, guys. What's going on?
Did I try to fool with it this evening?
That's what she said.
You want to pull that car out and pull it under that car shed? It's got light and everything.
I'll do it right there until it gets to the point where I can't do it. Then I'll pull it under
but it's
there.
cold. It's drizzling rain.
That's fine. I'm in the middle of a live video right now. I'm doing right now. Okay. So let me finish this.
We got everything except the fender.
Okay.
Hood and everything's in the back of my truck.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you. Hi, how are you, guys? No, I'm in the middle of a live video right now. That's what I was trying to say. So I apologize about that. I'm here to help somebody that crashed their car, and they got all kinds of body parts and stuff like that to replace it, and they want to talk to me. But I want to finish this video first. If you're following a keto coach that's really driving home this, you need to have hundreds and hundreds of grams of fat, you need to start asking questions why. Just like you would question your doctor why, you need to start asking them why. If I'm a 300, 400 pound person, you're not following up-to-date gurus. I can tell you that right now. Show me a guru that says too much protein turns to sugar. If you're following somebody that's still telling you that, you need to start testing it on yourself to see if it's actually true. Get a meter and test it. You guys, guys, would I lie to you? I do this stuff in front of you. I sacrifice myself sometimes so I could show you this. That a lot of this stuff is fake. A lot of this stuff is just regurgitated information that they followed from somebody else, and now they're believing this. Go test it on yourself. Go follow. If you want to figure out if what people are saying is true, who's the best testing subject to figure that out? You. Then you don't have to worry about what people say. You don't need a keto coach. You don't need to have 400 grams of fat per day because that's what this person says. I'm trying not to repeat their name right now for the simple fact that I don't want to bash anybody. But it's making me sick that I've had to fix so many people's problems because they follow such bad information from people. They come to me and say, well, I'm eating 240 grams of fat per day. And I'm like, well, how tall are you? And they say, well, 5'4". How much do you weigh? 190 pounds. Why are you consuming 240 grams of fat per day? This makes no sense. And if you keep consuming so much dietary fat to the point where your body only needs dietary fat for fuel, guess what happens? You're not going to lose weight. Bottom line. What happens when you get into a maintenance phase? Take your macros. Oh, no, don't even do that. Go to a keto calculator. Type in your height, your body fat percentage, your ideal height, body fat percentage, and weight. And see what happens. It's going to increase your fat because it knows you don't have anything to lose right now, right? So if you don't have anything to lose and it tries to increase your fat to stabilize you, to keep you at a weight that you're at, it has no reason to pull from your body stores anymore. So if I can wrap my mind around this, why am I having 200, 220, 240 grams of fat per day if I don't have a need for it? If I'm not an athlete, if I'm not this hardcore fitness runner or something like that, why do I need that? If I'm a person that's after health, and if I'm a person that's after healing, there's no way in hell that I would try to consume that. It makes no sense. If I'm eating my fat, I'm not pulling my fat from my body. But also it's important to have fat because you want hormone control. You want to produce hormones. You need cholesterol. You need these types of things. You need fat to feed your brain and stuff, to control your appetite. But you don't need so much fat to where you're having to gorge yourself and adding globs and tablespoons and pouring fat in stuff. I couldn't fathom somebody that's 180, 200 pounds or something like that, trying to consume 220, 240 grams of fat per day, and they're just the normal mom or normal worker or working in an office. It's silly. It's silly. Quit doing that. And I know there are people out there with many, many, many more subscribers than me, but I guarantee you they're not being honest with you. I know there are people out there that have had their channels longer than me, but I've been doing this a hell of a lot longer than them. And I can tell you right now, this stuff is not correct. If I ate too much protein in one sitting and it spiked my glucose and I had chocolate milkshake running through my veins because I have so much sugar production because, oh my God, I've ate so much protein. Why, when I sat down in front of you guys and I consumed 2.5 pounds of meat in one sitting in 20 minutes, 10-point rise on my glucose, which is natural. That's a natural response to eating. Why? If this was true, that's way, way, way more protein in one sitting than I need. Why? Explain that to me if this is true. Oh, guess what? It's anecdotal, right? I must be some anomaly in the scientific world, right? Because I ate too much protein in one sitting, I'm an anomaly, and all of a sudden, my body doesn't respond to things like everybody else does. Come on. Everything can't be anecdotal. Everything can't be an anomaly. Everything can't be an exception because you're that one person. This is ridiculous. Eating too much protein does not turn to glucose. It will not happen that way. 99.9% of you that watch this video at some point are going to be ticked off when you hear me say this, but the only way to know what's going on is to sit down and try it yourself. You may respond to lean protein in a completely different way than you respond to a fatty cut of ribeye. So go eat a piece of turkey that's super, super lean and then throw a ribeye in a skillet and eat one day and see what happens to your blood glucose. You're probably going to get a little bit more rise from that super, super lean meat because fat's not there to kind of buffer it out, right? Well, the next day, eat that fatty ribeye. Don't add no fat or anything to it. Salt it however you like. Cook it how you like and eat it. I bet you the glucose response is different. There's a reason for that. It's because the fat's not there to kind of buffer it, right? But we don't need to start dumping globs of tallow and lard and butter and all this other stuff. If you want to add some butter for flavor, sure, do that. I like to do that too, but I'm not going to be eating as the normal person trying to heal and lose weight on a ketogenic diet 200 plus grams of fat per day. That's just downright silly. And I'm not going to follow somebody that thinks that just because I eat a little extra protein, it's going to turn to chocolate milk in my blood. Come on. Guys, wake up. There's plenty of doctors out there that follow new research, that do newer testing and stuff like that. And if you're on my channel, if you're on my public page, if you're on my keto groups, where people see everything about my life from start to finish, I hide nothing. I tell you about my seminars, my doctor visits, my family life. I let you follow me like nobody else. I let you into my whole entire life to show you that I'm not making this stuff up. Everybody on my groups know everything about me, and I have no privacy because I have no reason to hide stuff. I started this when I was 17 years old. I'm 33 now. That's a long time to be doing low-carb living and not know anything about it. Come on. We got to be real here. A lot of these keto coaches and stuff like that will get their certification through a Dr. Berg program or go to Mark Sisson's program or whatever it is like that. And they think, okay, because I'm a keto coach, because I went through the program and I passed, now I'm a keto coach. Now I know everything and I can go out here and I can just coach everybody because I went through this program and I'm holding this piece of paper right here. No, it takes footwork. It takes working with people, learning hormones, food. There's so much more outside of that. I see these keto coaches that keep preaching this stuff and a lot of people aren't getting results from it. You need foot time. You need time with people. You need time living the lifestyle. That's what's going to make somebody a good coach. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to bash anybody or anything like that, but I know a lot of coaches out there that actually agree with me. that say, you know what, I didn't actually learn all that much. I knew a lot before I started, and I just got the certification, and I'm just kind of learning as I go now, so I can coach people. I can continue my continuing learning. Continuing education is what it's called, right? So I don't understand the thought process. Even Dr. Berry talks about a lot of this stuff being foolish. Dr. John Lemansky, same thing, being foolish. Dr. Eric Westman, just eat ketogenic food. There's no reason to track and stuff. If you're hungry, eat keto food. Your body will adjust. You're not on a standard American diet anymore. You're not eating tons of sugar and stuff anymore. You're eating very low glycemic, healthy food. The point where we tell people you have too much protein and that turns to sugar is ridiculous. Try it on yourself. That's the ultimate way of knowing. Don't even worry about what I'm saying in this video. Leave this video with me telling you you're probably being lied to. If you don't try it on yourself, you don't know. Some of the reasons why you're having some of the conditions and deficiencies that you have is because you're not eating enough protein. A lot of the reason why you don't have enough energy during the day, your nails aren't as healthy, your hair's falling out, is because you're not eating enough protein. A lot of the reasons why your metabolic condition is not healing is because you're not eating enough